Today, we live in a nation we define as united, but this flag has divided us for centuries. Many view it as a symbol of Southern heritage. For others, it's a symbol of hate. After flying over the state capitol in South Carolina for more than half a century, the Confederate flag came down in the summer of 2015. The decision was made to take down the flag after an online petition circulated and lawmakers voted.
Robert E. Lee said he considered this emblem to be a symbol of treason.
Even though the flag was removed last summer, people across the nation are still signing the petition, nearly 600,000 of them. The flag is down, but the debate is far from over.
No, I don't believe it represents racism. I think it's just what one person believes shouldn't mean what everyone thinks it is. Since he believed that he was racist, it doesn't always mean they're racist.
Reed Hines is a high school student in Kentucky. He wears the Confederate flag with pride on his shirts and hats.
Just what people believed in and didn't want overpowerment.
Hines feels strongly about the rebel flag's history. He also has it on his truck. The sight has turned heads.
I get a lot of people doing thumbs up or saying support heritage. But then I get people that are saying that's racist, and then I'll stop them and tell them what I think it is and move on with my life.
Supporter of the flag who is not trying to stir up trouble, Hines believes that more American citizens should be educated on what the flag truly stands for.
I think the thing is that if people would actually know the real history and what it all stood for and didn't go by what just one person says, would actually talk to people about it, it would get resolved.
A resolution our nation could certainly use at this point.
The people who have the flags and don't think that it can be offensive, I think they should just rethink about that, because the history on it can be really offensive.
Josh Wooldridge is a high school junior who recognizes there is a hate-free history side of the flag, but doesn't feel it should be flaunted.
I feel that if you know the history of the Confederate flag, that you shouldn't continue to keep boasting it and having it in your trucks, your cars, hats, and all the other stuff.
Many Americans would seem to agree with Wooldridge, as only 1 in 10 Americans feel positively when seeing the Confederate flag, according to a 2011 Pew Research Center poll.
They don't want other people going around having stuff on that they are not a fan of. So I feel that, yes, it's blown up these past couple years, but it doesn't need to continue with people, wearing it like clothes.
Even though many Americans don't feel comfortable when seeing the Confederate flag, the same poll showed that a majority of 58% of Americans feeling neither positive or negative about it.
Some people just don't have an opinion on it. Some people just want to stay out of it, doesn't concern them.
On the other hand, recent events show that the flag is becoming a much bigger deal. After the tragic shooting that occurred in Charleston, South Carolina, the Confederate flag that flew proud at the state capitol was lowered.
Those who revere the flag for reasons of ancestry and heritage retain every right to do so. But what happened in Charleston shed a different light on an issue in our state that we had long struggled with.
I think that the Confederate flag represents the struggles that the South had went through to try to secede from America and have their own government.
Spencer Bowles is a high school junior who believes that everyone should be educated about our nation's history, no matter how bad it was.
It should be preserved in museums due to those struggles, so American citizens may know that at one point America had a troublesome time with both sides conflicting with each other.
With all this controversy surrounding the flag, some people believe it is getting out of hand.
I think some people make too much of a deal. People are very sensitive nowadays. I think it's overdoing it just a little bit.
The more American citizens argue over the symbolism of the flag, the more we are continuing to divide ourselves.
I do believe we will be divided, but this time it will not be over racism, but instead over whether or not to take down the flag. I don't think it's worth it, because we as Americans should stand together as opposed to splitting ourselves apart.
But no matter how this argument will affect our nation down the road, people will rightly stand for what they believe in.
The thing is just how it originally started. Things can change, but I believe in what it originally meant, and that's what I stand for.
We need to find a way to become united again, and not so divided over an image. I'm Brandon Bradley, and that's my student camp.